Here's the thing with Mario Party. Everyone's favorite is the one that they grew up with. Even if it's objectively worse, that doesn't seem to change anyone's opinion. But you see, I've actually played every Mario Party title pretty thoroughly, so I feel like I can at least attempt to keep my bias out of the picture and focus on which ones have the best minigames, boards, and extra side content. So with that said, let's get her ranked. 16. Mario Party 10, the only Wii U Mario Party game. And as we know, lots of Wii U games turned out, not so great. I mean, just look at the menu. Could this possibly be more bland and generic? This was a phase where Mario Party didn't actually play like normal Mario Party. Everyone moves around in a car and hits dice blocks to move forward. You collect mini stars and move with everyone at once. One of the new features is Bowser is trapped in the gamepad and he's unlocked from certain dice rolls. The person that breaks him free loses half of their mini stars. The issue with this whole concept is there's no strategy involved with the boards. The boards themselves are very linear, and since we can't pick routes to take on our own or just buy our own stars, it takes away the elements of strategy and destroys the entire experience. And that's just one mode. Bowser Party is somehow worse. It's basically the same as Mario Party, but one player controls Bowser. And Bowser is OP as hell. He rolls several dice blocks at once and it's nearly impossible to win. But what about the Amiibo mode? Yeah, that's kind of like a normal Mario Party, except you have to have an Amiibo to play it, which is pretty bullcrap. And the boards are super boring with no alternate paths, item shops, or anything of interest. The only positive thing I can say about this game are the mini games. There's some pretty good ones in here, but that can be said for almost all the Mario Party games. The mini games don't work if the board game experience is atrocious. 15. Mario Party The Top 100. How they managed to take an amazing idea and completely ruin it is beyond me, but that's what the Top 100 did. Take 100 minigames from the past and compile them all together as a celebration. This should have been a home run, and in a way, I guess it kind of is. A lot of the minigames they picked are classics, including Shy Guy Says, Bumper Balls, Hexagon Heat, Book Squirm, and many others. But that's all there is. There's a minigame island to play them all on, but if you were thinking they'd bring back old boards, then you're surely mistaken. There is a total of one board to play on, and it's not even a retro board. Everyone moves at the same time and you randomly play minigames. It baffles me that there isn't a selection of at least 5 or 6 of the classic boards. That just defeats the whole purpose of this game existing. You can't just celebrate half of a game and expect it to be fine. 14. Mario Party 9. This was the beginning of the car phase, and I wasn't having any of it. And you know, I gave this game an honest chance. I really did. You move around in a car collecting mini stars, and since you all move at the same time, it defeats any semblance of strategy. So basically, it's the same as Mario Party 10, but slightly better. And that's only because the Bowser Party mode isn't here. Like really, it was that broken. But Bowser is still kind of dumb in Mario Party 9. When you do run into him, he's not much of a threat like he used to be. And the only items you can get now are dice blocks. It's like all the creativity and fun from the older games were just sucked out completely. Look, I get that they were trying something new, but it just doesn't work at all. I think the whole idea was to make the boards go by faster, which technically they do, but it's so monotonous to play that it feels like boards actually take longer than ever. The mini games are decent enough and I like the character roster, but that's all it has going for it. Like the Top 100, you need good boards and rules to go along with good mini games to make for a good game. 13. Mario Party Island Tour. By far the most forgettable Mario Party of all time. Instead of having one rule set for boards, this time all the boards play differently. On one hand, that's nice that they're trying out a bunch of different things, but on the other hand, none of the boards are all that great. For Bonsai Bill and Rocket Road, you're basically just going in a straight line, with some chances of getting knocked further back. Kamek's Carpet Ride is an interesting idea since it uses cards to move instead of dice blocks, but it's just not fleshed out enough. The mini games are at least great still, and there are a lot of them. 81 is a pretty sizable amount of brand new mini games. There's some fun to be had in a couple of boards, but not a lot. 12. Mario Party Star Rush. It's fairly similar to Island Tour, although the boards themselves are a bit more fun to play. Toad Scramble has 15 boards. Each of them look a bit different and have tweaked layouts. Everybody moves at the same time, and the goal is to collect stars. That's right, a modern Mario Party where you actually get your own stars. It's not quite as good though, seeing as everyone moves at the same time. The stars are obtained from winning bosses, and the mini games aren't as consistent. Speaking of mini games, there's only a little over 50, which is surprising considering Island Tour had way more. Balloon Bash is similar to Toad Scramble. The boards are smaller and you collect star balloons, so that adds a tiny layer of depth. There's also the Coinathlon mode, where the goal is to collect the most coins, which has its fun moments, but everything else is really undercooked. Mario Shuffle requires amiibo and is just rolling a dice over and over, and Rhythm Recital should have just been its own minigame instead. You see, Balloon Bash kind of had the right idea. It's too bad all the focus wasn't on that instead of being spread thin around the other game modes. 11. Mario Party Advance. I know, I'm surprised I'm placing this game so high as well. This almost doesn't count as a Mario Party game because it's not meant to be multiplayer focused. Instead, it's all about the single player. But then I actually played it this year, and I thoroughly enjoyed the campaign mode. You basically go around completing a bunch of side quests. I know, sounds boring, but the writing is really well done and quite hilarious at times. You may only have 4 characters to pick from, but some side quests have exclusive character quests, so it offers some replay value. It does suck that the only way to make it far in single player is to master all the minigames to keep getting dice rolls, but once you do master them, you can play for quite a while. The minigames are decent as well, although they don't hold up compared to the console games. I do wish that there was a way to just play normal Mario Party with friends, but this is also the GBA we're talking about, so I can understand why this wasn't possible. The widgets are fun to unlock too, but they aren't really worth anything. We'll never get a Mario Party like this again, so at the very least, I can appreciate how unique it is. 10. Super Mario Party. Finally, a return to form! Somewhat. I have many conflicting thoughts with Super Mario Party, because its main mode plays like classic Mario Party, which is awesome. But then there's also all these side modes like River Survival and Soundstage, which reminds me of the 3DS Mario Party games, and even the main mode has these weird problems as well. Like, why do stars only cost 10 coins instead of 20? And why does everyone win coins from a minigame even if you get last place? And don't even get me started on how OP the gold pipes are. It's like they wanted to bring back classic Mario Party like everyone has been asking, but they just couldn't pull away completely. The game can be good fun, but it's just not as good as it should be. And I even like the boards despite some of them being a bit linear, and most of the minigames are a blast. But of course there's the issue of there only being 4 boards. That is pathetic when the original games on the N64 had more than that. And don't even get me started on that online mode. We were teased with finally getting online for Mario Party, but instead we have a laggy mess where you can only play a handful of the minigames. This is at least a step in the right direction, but the older games are still a lot better than this one. 9. Mario Party 8. We're finally at the first of the classic Mario Party titles. Mario Party 8 is simple. You collect coins to try to buy stars. After everyone rolls, you play a mini-game and rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, the boards aren't the greatest in Mario Party 8. Goomba's Booty Boardwalk and Shy Guy's Perplex Express are extremely linear, which removes a lot of the strategy that would normally be had. But all the boards themselves have interesting spaces. There's a bunch of them from previous games like Blue, Red, Happening, Bowser, and the DK space. These really spice up each roll, especially the Happening space, since something board specific will happen and it can alter the game completely. There's lots of candies you can buy too to add more chaos to the board. I like the mini games as well. Some of them use motion controls and some of them use normal controls. It's a decent mix of both. But the best part of Mario Party 8 by far is Koopa's Tycoon Town. This is a board where instead of buying stars, you buy buildings which are worth stars. The more money you invest into a building, the more stars you'll earn. This is insanely cool because you have to plan out which buildings to invest in, as well as how much money to put into it. And you have to be careful because your building can very easily be bought out by other players. This board is incredible and is probably the best Mario Party board of all time. And I haven't even touched on the extra side modes on top of the solid character roster. 8. Mario Party 7. The GameCube parties were all fairly similar, but there's enough differences in each that are worth talking about. All the boards are pretty fun, the standout being Pagoda Peak. And what's interesting is that this one is actually fairly linear, but it actually works because of how well paced it is. Because of the size of the board, you'll climb up quite a few times in a game and have lots of chances at getting stars. And that's just one version. The objective is actually different depending on if you're playing by yourself or with friends for each board. The orbs are also a lot of fun to use, and the mic minigames are decent. In fact, most of the minigames are pretty great. There's even an 8-player mode where you can play a couple minigames with 8 people. The main issue with Mario Party 7 is that things were getting a bit stale at this point, and the overall game can feel sluggish at times. It's not bad, but there's better options out there. 7. Mario Party 4. This was the first Mario Party I ever played. I'll never forget playing it at a friend's house into the wee hours of the morning. That was when I fell in love with the series, and it's still one of my favorites to this day. Being the first GameCube entrant, the graphic department took a massive leap, and so did the amount of content. There's 6 great boards, tons of items to pick from, and a buttload of extra modes on top of that. The boards may all look the same with a similar ground layout repeated over, but the gameplay has lots of variety for each of them. The main feature is the mini and mega mushrooms, which are sprawled all over these boards. Being mega can allow you to steal coins from players, but you'll also miss out on stars if you run past them. And the mini mushrooms lets you take secret paths, but your dice rolls are also much smaller. Mario Party 4 is home to the best minigame of all time, Book Squirm. And there's even Challenge Book Squirm where you can play as long as you can last. Admittedly, the character roster is lacking, seeing as it wasn't updated for Mario Party 3, and taking the secret orange pipes on the boards can be stupidly difficult. 6. Mario Party 5. So what's different about this one compared to Party 4 and 7? Well, for one, the boards all look much more interesting, so that's a point above the 4th game. The roster is also updated finally, and there's even tag names for each character. Like Mario and Luigi is the Mario Bros, and Daisy and Wario are the mismatched pair. I love that each combination has a unique name. Instead of 6 boards, there's 7 in this one, and all of them have unique playstyles. This is also the first time we got the DK space, which was really weird at the time, but it's a nice change of pace. If you land on it, you get to play a DK minigame and have a chance at some coins or even a free star if you're lucky. Capsules were also introduced and add a ton of elements to how the game can be played. The minigames of course are really great, and there's a couple of bonus ones that are more fleshed out, which is pretty cool. So it's fairly similar to the other GameCube titles, but it has a couple extra perks. 5. Mario Party 6. By far the best GameCube Mario Party. One of its biggest new inclusions is the day and night system. This mechanic not only changes how the board looks, but also how the board plays. I'm shocked this is the only Mario Party with this system because it's an awesome idea that freshens up the board game experience. As an example, for Clockwork Castle, players move around normally in the day, but the direction you move is flipped at night. This is just the normal boards. There's even a few exclusive ones if you're playing solo. The orbs also make a return, and there's a lot of solid minigames to pick from too. Speaking of minigames, this was the first to include mic minigames. By speaking into the mic and saying words, it would interact or change something in the minigame. While it was novel at the time, it's a bit gimmicky nowadays. The sheer amount of variety and content in Mario Party 6 is staggering, and we haven't seen this much smart innovation since. 4. Mario Party DS. I'll never forget when this came out when I was a teenager. After being so disappointed that Mario Party Advance wasn't the normal game on the go, Mario Party DS gave me exactly what I wanted. A full-fledged Mario Party experience that plays on a handheld, and you can link up with other people to play the actual game. The power behind this game is just how dense and fun all the boards are. There's always something interesting happening, which actually fully complements the minigames. Huh, who would have thought that would have worked, huh? My favorite maps were always Wiggler's Garden, Toadette's Music Room, and DK's Stone Statue. The story mode is actually half decent for a party game. Bowser shrinks everyone, and that's the whole premise. This allows for a lot of creativity with how the boards are made, and even the minigames. A lot of the minigames are based on you being tiny. Some have you riding on a clothesline, or even across a sink on soap bars as an example. The only downside is the items for the boards aren't super interesting, but otherwise this game is fantastic. 3. Mario Party 3. Everyone always argues about which of the 3 N64 Mario Parties are the best, and I'd say Mario Party 3 is the worst of the 3. Now yes, we do get more characters to pick from, and the story mode actually has a bit of a story, and while I like all the boards, they're just not super memorable. I always enjoyed Waluigi's Island and Woody Woods a bunch, and the other boards do the job as well. On top of that, there's also a bunch of dual boards, but that can only be played with 2 people, and it doesn't have minigames. The objective is to attack the player's heart gauge instead of collecting stars, which is just okay. And you know what? That's fine. Unlike the modern Mario Party games where the side modes are the entire game, Mario Party 3 also has 6 fully fleshed out boards to play. There are a ton of items to pick from as well, and lots of great minigames, except MPIQ. Like, seriously, what were they thinking with that one? But you can't go wrong with Eats a Pizza, only one of the best Mario Party minigames out there. 2. Mario Party. I know a lot of you are gonna disagree, but just hear me out. I think the first Mario Party has a certain charm that none of the other games match. To put it lightly, yeah, this game hates you. Oh, you lost a minigame? Better give everyone your coins. You lost a solo minigame? Let's just take coins from you. Oh, you don't have coins when you talk to Bowser? He'll just take your star instead. The sadistic nature of Mario Party 1 is what makes it so special. There's so much tension when playing with others because the rules are so evil, yet so rewarding when you win. The boards are objectively not that great, but there is a lot of them to pick from. And they're not that great because they're always against you. They're going to make you lose a lot of coins just from the board, but everyone has to go through the pain. And then on top of that, you're competing with everyone, and that gives you a Mario Party experience that isn't like any other. And there are some truly remarkable minigames too, like Mushroom Mix-Up, Buried Treasure, Skateboard Scamper, and Crazy Cutter as an example. Hell, Tug of War causes so much pain to the player that Nintendo had to send everyone gloves due to people getting blisters. And of course, there's Chance Time, which can completely flip the game on its side. You can go from first place to last place in a matter of seconds. Despite all of this, it's a Mario Party that I'm always coming back to, and that's because most games don't have this level of tension and excitement when playing with others. 1. Mario Party 2. It's the one most of us can agree on. It's got a lot of Mario Party 1's minigames, but it basically picked all the good ones and made them better. Bumper Balls has multiple locations, and Bombs Away has a big missile at the end. The characters are more customized this time around too. They all dress up a bit depending on which board you play on. The boards are also a lot more balanced than the first game, and there's so many routes to take. In general though, the original 3 Mario Parties have great boards because most of them offer multiple routes to bring layers of strategy into the game. And all the boards in Mario Party 2 are really memorable and still have their evil moments, such as losing all your coins in Spaceland if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. This was also the first Mario Party to introduce items, and while there isn't a lot of them, they're a blast to have and can really shake things up. Personally, the first Mario Party is still my favorite, but objectively, the second one has a little bit more going for it. I can't believe I've even played all the Mario Party games. There's so many of them out there, but that was my ranking of them. Let me know what you think are the best and worst ones are and why. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Until next time.